Welcome to AutoCAD online training presented by BIMLABS. BIMLABS is a learning partner of Autodesk. I am Vijna BT, Technical Engineering, BIMLABS Engineering Services Private Limited. This is part 4 video for drawing tools. Next option in AutoCAD is rectangle tool. You can select a rectangle option from here, and also from the draw menu bar, you can select the option for rectangle. So here is the option for rectangle. And for accessing the rectangle, you can also use command. Its command is REC enter. By giving REC enter, you will get the option for creating rectangle. So after giving command for rectangle, you will get like this. And I'm going to create starting a rectangle here. So let's click on the model space here, this point. After clicking on a point, you will get sub options like area, dimension, and rotation. We can give or we can create a rectangle by using the area method and also dimensions method. If you are using the area method, you should have the area of the rectangle with you. Like if I am going to create a rectangle having 25 units, 25 square units, then I have to select the area. Then I'm going to give a value of 25. So a rectangle having 25 units will be created. And after clicking enter, after giving the area and then click on enter in the keyboard, then you will have to give any of dimensions like width or length of the rectangle you have to input. I'm going to select on the length and I'm going to give a value of 5 units to the rectangle. Give 5 and enter. We can see that a rectangle is created now and it will have a length of 5 units and its area will be 25 units square. Okay. And we can also create a rectangle by entering the dimensions. I'm selecting rectangle from top and clicking here, selecting the second sub option dimensions. And you have to specify the length of the rectangle. So I'm going to give a rectangle length as 5, give 5 value, enter. Then they're asking for specifying the width of the rectangle. I'm going to enter width value of 3, enter. Then you will get a rectangle having length 5 meter and width 3 meter. And a rectangle will be attached to your cursor and you can specify the direction where you want to place the rectangle. If you want to place this rectangle to the top, you can click on the top. If you want to place this rectangle to the downside of this line, you can place like this. Selecting rectangle tool again and click this place. Let's select the rectangle and select this point. And the next sub option is rotation. I'm selecting the rotation. After selecting the rotation, you can use this rotation tool for rotating for placing a rectangle which will be rotated, which will be placed at some angle rotation. Like you can rotate your rectangle. I'm going to give a 30-degree angle for rotating this rectangle. Give 30 from the keyboard and give enter. Then you can see that I can create a rectangle at 30-degree inclinations from the horizontal like this. Or if you want to create from here to the left, you can create a rectangle. It will have an angle difference 30 from the horizontal like this. In the 4 coordinates, you can create like this. giving escape and selecting rectangle from top again, rectangle option. Just after selecting the rectangle, before putting any point for placing the rectangle, you can see that in the bottom side, there is some other options are there. The first one is chamfer. Using this chamfer sub option, we can create a rectangle, chamfered rectangle. That means its four sides will have a chamfer like edge. So I'm selecting this chamfer tool. After selecting the chamfer tool, we have to specify the first chamfer distance for the rectangle. So I'm giving a chamfer distance of 70. Give an enter. Then we have to specify the second chamfer distance for the rectangle. And I will explain you later what is the chamfer distance, first chamfer distance and the second chamfer distance. I'm also giving that same value 70 as the second chamfer distance. After giving those values, I'm going to pick my first corner point of the rectangle, which is here, and creating a rectangle right like this. But you can see that the rectangle that I have created is having some rotation still. But I don't need to get a rectangle having some rotation value. I need to have a common type of rectangle, horizontal rectangle. So if I'm selecting this rectangle tool again and creating a rectangle, I will always get a rectangle having 30-degree inclination. So for changing that to normal, we need to select the rectangle tool again and we need to go to the option rotation again. So picking here for getting rotation sub option, select the rotation option. Here you can see that it is 30. That is the recent value we have given. We have to give 0 value as the rotation angle. Give 0 and enter. Then we will get a normal rectangle too. After changing the value, you can see that we are getting the normal rectangle. Creating a chamfer type rectangle, we have to select the rectangle option. After selecting the rectangle option, you can see that there is chamfer option here. To select the chamfer option, I'm giving a chamfer distance value of 70 or 40. Okay, let's give 40. Then give enter. Then also we have to specify the second chamfer distance for that rectangle. Also giving 40 chamfer distance and give enter. Then you have to draw the rectangle. I'm starting from this point and creating a rectangle like this, ending at here. Okay, you can see that this is the rectangle we have created using the chamfer rectangle tool. And this chamfer rectangle means its four edges will be like this, chamfer type. Okay, this is called a chamfer rectangle. And that chamfer distance which we have entered is the value from this endpoint to this point. And second chamfer distance is the value from this endpoint to this point. And when we are selecting the rectangle tool, near to the chamfer tool, there is another option called fillet. Fillet is similar to this chamfer option. Like if I'm selecting this fillet tool, then I have to enter a fillet radius for this rectangle. I'm giving value of 60 as the fillet radius and give enter. Then creating a rectangle like this. Can you see its edges are curved? So these type of rectangle are called fillet rectangle. Let's see what are the other options in rectangle. So again, selecting rectangle option. So another option is width. Using the width option, you can increase or decrease the line width of the drawing here or of the rectangle you are creating. Like I'm selecting this width option. So we can we can specify the line width for the rectangle we are going to create and giving a line width value of like 80 value, give enter, then create a rectangle. We can see the change in the line width of this rectangle from the previous rectangle. And this created type of rectangle is also the fillet type as the previous. After giving like these changes to the rectangle type, whenever we try to create another type of rectangle, we will only get a rectangle having some having the same line width as before, and also we will get the chamfer of fillet type of rectangle because we are already set rectangle settings to fillet. We have already set some fillet value and chamfer size or line width to the rectangle. For removing those and for getting the normal rectangle again, we have to go again to the same option. I'm going to delete that chamfer distance. For that, you have to select the chamfer option again and give 0 enter for the 0 for the first chamfer distance and giving again 0 for changing the second chamfer distance to 0 value. Then I will get a rectangle. Right. The corner are now sharp, not same as the chamfer type. Okay. Now this is okay, but we are having the line width. So we have to change that again, selecting the rectangle to select the width option. You can see that now the width of the line is given as 80, give 0, enter for changing that. Then create a rectangle. We are getting a normal rectangle now. And also similarly, we have to delete the fillet value also. Give 0, enter for changing the fillet also. Next option in rectangle is elevation. So using elevation, after giving some elevation value, we can create a rectangle having higher elevation or lower elevation. I'll show you. Selecting this elevation and giving an elevation value, giving an elevation value of 6,000 or 7,000 units, giving 7,000, enter. After that, I'm creating a rectangle near to this rectangle. After creating this, let's see how it is aligned. For knowing the elevation, for understanding the elevation differences of this rectangle from other rectangles, let's move to the front view of this drawing. For moving to the front view, we can use this view cube in the model space. So clicking on the arrow here, this arrow, for moving to the front view, click on that arrow. You can see that this is the rectangle. This is the front view of that 2D rectangle we have created now. And for this rectangle, you can see that its elevation is having a higher elevation, that is 7,000 units from the other rectangle. These are the front view of the other rectangles we have created, and this rectangle is having a 700 unit elevation. So for creating rectangles in different elevations, we can go for go for creating this type of rectangles by selecting that elevation sub option. Last sub option in rectangle is thickness. Using the thickness, you can give a thickness value to the sides of the rectangle. I'm going to give a thickness of 300 units, giving enter. After that, I'm going to create in the top view, I'm going to create a rectangle. This is the rectangle, that bigger rectangle. And for knowing the thickness, I have said that it's we are going to give thickness for the edge of this rectangle. So for knowing the thickness of this edge, we need to go to the front view. So moving to the front view using the view cube, you can see that this is the rectangle we have created previously, deleting that. So this is the rectangle we have created now, and it is having a thickness of 30 units when it is compared to 0 thickness rectangle. These are the rectangles having no thickness, and this is rectangle having 300 unit thickness. Like that, you can create rectangles having different thickness values also. I'm going to the top. So these are the options and sub options in the rectangle tool. In this video, we have discussed about how to create a rectangle in AutoCAD. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.